And it is the 90-second podcast.
90-second podcast of 2022.
Do you feel like you miss your calling?
No.
This is the voice.
This is the vibe.
Okay, Corey, what can people expect on the 90-second podcast, the second to last of the year 2022?
Well, welcome to the Baking It Down podcast. We are associated with a group on Facebook called the Sugar Cookie Marketing parentheses group. Each week, we bring a little marketing nugget that if you incorporate it this week, you'll benefit from it next.
There's a lot. For the 100th podcast, which will be in like 2 months. 2 months.
Oh, 2 months.
Because we do once a month.
Yeah, you're right.
I figured we can do some stats.
Some stats.
So, I mean, this
podcast stats.
Yeah. Most listened to, least listened to. Most listened to day.
Most controversial.
Average time. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
But there's a lot of content in over 91 because we had some half episodes. There's a lot.
Can you even believe that some people out there are listening through it 2 to 3 times now?
They're holding this podcast up.
What are you? You God bless your souls.
Bless your souls. Some people are listening to it on 1.5x, 2x speed.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
We should do some podcast polls in the group asking like how many times have you listened to the podcast and give those people shout outs
that'd be a good
on
idea.
The 100th episode.
That would be a great
Heather's
idea.
making a mental note as we speak.
You also reminded me that I took a podcast poll. You want to start with it? It's just
let's dive in.
So I figured okay, the group is how many people? 30?
Almost to 38,000.
Oh my goodness. How many people are pending and why aren't you letting them
There
add?
are 6,000 people pending. And the reason why is because it's quality over quantity. If we let a few people in and they kind of get the vibe of the group, it's never overwhelming. We never go too much in one direction. So I let in a few a week, and then it keeps the integrity of the group going.
I
don't know if there's science behind that, but in my brain it works to justify my laziness and not letting people in.
Well, the group is valuable when it is strict. Which sounds mean, but when we can kind of focus on the rules to be like, hey, this is marketing only. There's no client bashing. There's, we got to add value. There's no just see my cookie post. It has to be this kind of value added content. And that's what the admin team does a great job of, stewards of the rules.
They do.
But let's start off with the podcast poll. Actually, I think I made 2. I don't know.
Should
I
you
have
save
to.
one for next week?
No, because I have one scheduled up to go there too.
Okay.
I did podcast poll. This year, my price per dozen options has increased. That's inflation by every. Has stayed the same. I cut costs elsewhere. Has decreased. People just aren't buying like they used to. And the 4th option isn't there yet. I'm still doing this as a hobby and I don't charge. I almost feel like I did this last week, but let's continue on.
I don't think you did.
Okay. So we had 705 votes.
Okay.
The overwhelming majority of people, 92%, voted for my prices have increased.
Wow, great.
6% have stayed the same, cut costs elsewhere, and only 1% have both decreased in price or haven't charged.
I will say, no one is wrong in their answer.
You're wrong, 92% of people said that.
I will just say to take that information, keep it in your back pocket as you move forward. With the price of butter so fluctuating, the other week it was $8. Yesterday it was on sale for $4.99.
I found a farmer on TikTok and someone said, what is with the price of eggs?
Yeah, what is with the price of eggs?
Big egg. Yeah, he said it's pretty interesting. He said it's threefold issue of what happened with chickens. So the price of phosphorus increased.
There a big chicken coop that burnt down?
Oh, they didn't talk about that.
Oh, okay.
But he said bird influenza has limited how many chickens, because apparently you have to the bird when the influenza hits.
Well, that's sad.
That's kind of, he said depopulate, and someone said that's a very weird way to say.
I don't like that word.
Yeah. So they had to depopulate a bunch of chickens. Then the price of phosphorus, which is, I guess, exported from China, increased, but that's how they kind of feed them or something. So the cost of feeding the birds increased, the number of birds decreased, and then something about supply chain.
Supply and demand.
Yeah. So
and guess what? They pass that pricing on to the customers.
Right. Someone said, why is it so ridiculous? He said, I wouldn't say it's ridiculous. I would say it's on par. He said, but the eggs you had before COVID were probably likely underpriced.
Yeah. I felt like I was stealing every time I left the store with them.
So that's what that is. Whether it shakes out, and
we can all take a little lesson
from the eggs.
From the farm people. Customers act up. them.
Corey.
Pass your cost on to the customer. I got it.
Now, here's a podcast poll from yesterday. Compared to last year, my Christmas sales have been. I gave 3 options. Better, marketing works. Second option, the same, all's well that ends well. And the third option, lower, economy maybe. Of 338 votes, 50% said that they had better sales this Christmas. 11% say they had noticed it stayed the same, and 39% said their sales were lower.
39%.
So if you want to do majority of people said their sales have increased.
Wow. And it had so many fewer votes than your other one. Like almost.
The other one had been around for a week. This was posted 23 hours ago. They kind of definitely drip out quite a bit longer the way the polls work in the groups. Interesting podcast polls. So I figured the podcast polls, when you have 37,000 data points you can potentially pull from, you can gather a lot of trending data.
I'll be curious how these questions fare next year.
I'll be curious too.
Let's not forget to ask them.
I will
Jot
try
that down
not
in your notebook that you
a sterner. Okay, speaking of, Corey and I were talking about goals. Now, before we talk about futuristic goals, I've actually created a list of my closeout goals.
Closeout goals? I don't even know what this is.
I know. It's things I do to close out the year so I can start my next year.
Well, tell me because, I only have a week and a half, so I can add them to my closeout goal list that I didn't have before right now.
Sorry, I dropped my pens. I got a fresh pad of paper.
Giant notebook.
Yeah, look.
Why is it extremely long?
It's what I wanted.
Extremely long.
I wanted extremely. Look at all the thoughts I could have
at the top. You've only written on a normal sized piece of paper.
But I'm learning to expand my thoughts. Okay. I got a fresh sheet of paper. Start off with 2023. Nothing says things are going to happen like a pad of paper.
The paper's comically long.
It is definitely. It's the length of a normal paper, but the height of 2 papers.
It's the width. The width of a normal paper, the height of a comically large,
a strong paper. Okay, so my closeout goals, and if you guys want to find some inspiration here, by all means.
Hold on while Heather undoes the scroll that she has in her hand right now.
Here's my paper. These are things that if I can leisurely get them done, they're nothing stressful, but if I can get them done by the end of 2 weeks, because that's when the year ends, I'll have been able to set myself up on a fresh, clean start for 2023.
I like that.
Get all inboxes to 0. Now, I do practice inbox 0 throughout the year.
Explain what that means to folks who maybe
This is going to sound horrifying. Don't. Trust the process. Cookie College actually teach the class on this. Once you taste of inbox 0, your second life begins.
It really does.
It really does.
I will say, an inbox is mental clutter.
It is. It's stressful.
It is.
And it's a welcome to get things lost in the proverbial mail.
All the time.
So a lot of times when the client says, I didn't get your email, and you're like, I know they did that. I suspect that they didn't forgot because it got lost in the clutter.
Lost in the sauce.
Yeah, lost in the sauce. So what inbox 0 is, and there's many ways to approach this, it's every time you look at your inbox, there's 0 emails in it.
Yeah. That means every day you're getting in there, cleaning out what needs to go, organizing what needs to stay. So when you log in there, the things that you see
are only actionable items.
Yeah.
I saw this guy on TikTok, he looked like Santa Claus, and he says, my policy for my inbox is only touch it once. Meaning if you open the email, you must take the action to get that email either addressed, responded to, filed away, or deleted.
Listen.
Linda.
That's a goal for 2023.
Well, this is my goal. So I teach this class in the college, and the people who've taken it have said, oh my goodness.
They have.
The way you can get to inbox 0 is filters. A great way, anyone can do this without a class, is unsubscribe. So what I do, don't just delete your promotions folder. Go through each email, or you can use like a rollup.com. I think it was a rollup.
I think it was.
Roll something. There's some unsubscriber emails, but you can just click on every email, and at the footer, by law, it has to have an unsubscribe link. Highly suggest it.
Yeah. Talk about budget saving too.
When you can't see what's for sale.
Yeah.
So another way is emails that I may not want to delete, but I don't necessarily need to read. I just need to keep record of. You can create a Gmail filter that says, store this in this filter, skip the inbox, and mark it as read.
Nice.
So I do that.
So you'll never even be bothered by that one.
Yeah. So the podcast texts, they don't hit the inbox. They don't necessarily need to check them until Tuesdays. But I have this folder, what they call labels, set up so that I can just click on it on Tuesdays and see the text.
And here I was thinking we're unpopular.
Yeah, I didn't realize I had that set up until I was auditing my filters yesterday to find the folder. But get my inboxes to 0. Here's another one. Number 2, transfer all computer data to an external hard drive. So I love my computer. I feel like he's my bestie.
Heather, when she got this, it was like a kid in a candy store. She got all the little bells and whistles, I guess.
2, it's a Dell XP tower, so it's not a laptop. I got 2 monitors and, okay, cool. But data, specifically Photoshop files and InDesign files and Premiere Pro files, takes up a lot of space. A lot of times when you export the final product, the clip, you don't need all the other files used to create it. But you have this like thought, but what if?
Yeah. What if I need to edit something in 5 years from now?
Yeah, odds are you're going to be a lot better. Odds are the type of cameras out in 5 years will be so much better than today's. And odds are your quality of product will be much better. You likely won't have to use or re-edit that photo.
Yeah, that's true.
So you got to kind of commit to the future you being a better version of the present you.
Me, I'm committed to that. I will just get worse, so I must keep everything now.
So I was looking at my hard drive, and it was, it was kind of filling up. But a guy on TikTok says you need 40 gigs set aside for just the computer to operate normally. So how can I work efficiently if I'm bogging down my computer with uselessness?
True.
So I got a Samsung steady state terabyte. A cost of a terabyte hard drive, even 5 years ago, thousands.
When I went to T-Mobile yesterday, iPhone shopping, because yes,
Of course, switch to Teams.
I said, yeah, I want the 1 terabyte guy.
They have a terabyte one?
And he's like, ma'am, nobody orders that.
Did you?
I said, okay, drop me down.
Okay. But a terabyte is outrageous. A terabyte of
That's
space.
what he said. He said, it is ridiculous.
No, this computer is 500 gigs. This whole
500
computer.
gigs. What's my laptop?
I have to pull it up.
You help me order
I'm sure it's
it.
500.
Really?
I think that's the most you could put on them at the time we ordered them. So, but that little square in there, the one I gave you to also use, is a terabyte. Steady state, which means old hard drives used to spin.
Yes.
So think that force of causing something to spin, it was a very big delay in processing. Steady state means it immediately pulls up. That's why computers turn on so quickly these days. Steady state hard drives.
I will say, she's saying 1 terabyte sounds big. The thing came in, it's the size of a mini booklet.
The whole thing is the size of a credit card. It's smaller.
The one you sent me is in a box.
Yeah, if you open it, it's as little as the one sitting right there.
Haven't opened it yet.
It's super little. Okay, open it.
We'll get there.
But keeping your files on an external still has a little caveat that it's a physical device.
It is.
In the event
physical devices,
if they fail,
can break.
They can just fail. They can break. Fire loss, water loss, the thing is gone. So something I use for this computer, we should set it up on yours, is iDrive, which is a virtual backup of physical files.
Smart.
So it runs every night, and it just says, okay, we found some files.
How much is that?
Subscription. It was actually pretty affordable. I think it's less than 10 a month.
So now you have your entire stuff on 2 different things.
Yep, and one's in the cloud.
Do you think that's redundant?
Redundancy is what it's supposed to be. Yeah. So if something happens, which we always assume that something could happen and will happen, then all my files are backed up in a cloud storage that is also backed up in multiple places.
But should that not
Oh, great question. So why don't I just use the cloud storage? Because to use cloud storage for these files like Photoshop, I'd have to download them again. So download, use, and re-upload.
I got it.
Great question, though. Number 3, get all paper files scanned and uploaded to the cloud.
Shut up.
So, paper clutter. Okay, I was going on a walk yesterday.
Paper clutter.
I went on a walk, and I'm walking down Lee Chapel, and there is a check in the grass.
Did you get a little excited?
I did.
Little
Not that's
heart.
written to me,
Not
but
like
I got a little a
cash.
dopamine hit, like a check in the grass. I look at it. It's a neighbor, but they wrote the check on Christmas Eve 23 years ago.
How in the world? That check, Heather did send a picture to everybody.
Look, I found a
brand
check.
spanking
Yeah,
new.
it was crispity crunchity. The couple had passed away, and their sons were cleaning out their house, and that fell off the moving truck. But 23 years ago, paper clutter is known as the worst thing the IRS said is keep documents for 7 years, because people are like 70 years. Okay, good. I'm never. So what I like to do is when I get something, scan it, upload it, shred it. But again, only touch it once. When you get that letter in the mail, take the action. Scan it, upload it, shred it. You don't need it.
What if
Some CPA is like, they do need a physical copy.
What if I'm the paper gal? I have a filing box, but
When was the last time you opened it?
just cleared it out
Is
when I
it?
needed to find my stuff.
I made a promise myself this past year to get rid of all paper.
Smart.
So I sold my filing cabinet on Facebook Marketplace, and some lady seems stoked to continue her paper clutter hoard with it.
Okay.
But I scanned everything, and I organized it by file and searchable. That's a key thing, and why I preach this is that a lot of the paper files, outside of the little, if you label your
Yeah.
folders, it's really hard to find it otherwise. So what I do
It is. You
when
should see me in a panic.
yeah.
Where did I put this? Not one label in sight.
Right. So I took a class actually on Google Drive management, and this lady was like, "Hey, so I do year, month, day underscore,
Topic.
personal or work underscore, who's it from underscore, what's it for underscore, and then any identified details." That gives me all those search points, folks.
I just want to paint a picture what Heather's file structure is like. It's a folder within a folder within a folder within a folder within another folder.
The key is as long as the file itself is searchable. First, I always say to myself, Heather, where would you have put this? Well, here, I'll follow the natural folder file structure in my head.
They're your own natural. I've tried to find things
But you could also search.
using your brain matter. It's just a folder and a folder and a folder.
You know what I've been working on? Workflow is an app that builds itself in just to outline bullet points. I built the external hard drive folder structure there first, and then I'm copying that folder structure onto the external, so that way I almost have a map of the external's folder structure.
What's it like to be you?
I don't have paperless, actually. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
You're insane.
Do you think, when you think of your, when you see your filing cabinet, is there a little of that in the back of your neck, a little,
I slammed the door
yeah.
so I don't have to stare at it.
Yeah, I think that if we took on our paper clutter head on and scanned it and filed it, we'd sleep all just a percent
hair
better.
better.
Yeah. None of these get any more normal as we go through this list, by the way. I just happen to have this
know.
list. If you're going to think this is going to even out to me. Oh, yeah. Print all of Sam's cookie cutter membership cutters.
Yeah, yes, one I can finally get behind.
I joined Sam's Cookie University membership last year, I think.
Yes, you did.
But if you know, I think it's $150 a year. That was what it was when I signed up. And every Monday they teach a class in their group. You have it free for 24 hours. But any of the cutters she made in class, if you're lazy and you didn't want to make it yourself, she just uploads the STL file to her
All you
membership.
gotta do is press print.
So Corey's got the thank you on her hand.
I do.
And
It's
there's like
very
3
well made.
sizes of it.
Yeah,
Because she uses that Bella plugin to go boop.
It's fantastic. Got it in my hand playing with it this whole podcast.
I printed off the stacked Christmas tree. I printed off thank you. I printed off
tiny
snowman
snowman.
mittens.
Snowman with mittens and a snowman nose to the air.
Yes, yeah. And I have a bunch more. There's there's this pool puzzle. It's 9-piece set.
Cool. Oh, I
Yeah.
saw her actually
Yeah.
decorate that one.
So I was
But
going
have
to
be
just
a
chug
little
through
bit
those.
more talented, though.
What?
Start with easier ones.
Okay. I thought the thank you one was done. Oh, this is what our accountant called us and said to do, which sounds like a bummer. For sure, it's a downer. A financial audit of the business finances, which Corey doesn't know, but we'll be building out a YNAB account for the companies. So YNAB, you need a budget. Look at Corey sweating over there.
Yeah, I really am
Well,
uncomfortable.
She made us do it. I didn't.
Huh?
She's making us do it.
Yeah. Why? I felt like that call.
That was weird.
She was just giving.
We can't
us
lambast the
homework.
account.
I
on
love
public.
her. Known her to a bazillion years.
Annette is like a mother who gives it to you straight.
Yep, straight shooter.
You know, like when you know you shouldn't have bought something, and then somebody who knows you shouldn't have bought something said something about it.
If you got spanked as a kid and no one hugged you after, that's
That's
her.
Annette. So she said, go through your charges and categorize them, which is essentially the app You Need a Budget, which I use for my personal life. And Ben B from YNAB taught a Facebook Live in the main group for free if you want to get started on that. Great way to track your spending. If you're not sure if you made more money this Christmas, YNAB would tell you.
And it's honestly a great idea as inflation is going up and down here to really know your numbers. You can see what, like, at the end of the day, Target is going to cost what Target costs. Like, if you get your eggs there, you get your butter there, that is the price.
You're buying eggs from Target? I feel like everything at Target's expensive.
Listen,
You see, Aldi had a sale.
If I can go to Target, that's where you'll find my body.
Do you have a Target credit card?
I have the debit card.
With the
Yes,
5% off?
I do.
You have a Target credit card?
through the debit one. You could do a credit or debit. Debit was they still ran your credit and it takes it right from your bank account, but you don't have to.
But then I have a credit card that you pay off. It's the same card does both things.
No, I only have the debit version of that.
But you get 5% off.
I do.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Okay. But yeah, YNAB is a really interesting. I want to say cool would be stretching it.
Yeah.
It is a nifty way. Someone said, I was building out a budget of estimated expenses to price out like an emergency fund, which is a solid emergency fund for self-employed people, 6 months living expenses. So I was like, okay, what do I spend for a month in gas? But because I've always entered every transaction for the past 3 years into YNAB, $60.
If you're wondering if YNAB is right for you, if you've ever felt like typing, what would I charge for this in the group? It's right for you.
If you're wondering how long it would take me to get an Eddie if I didn't want to finance it, YNAB is right for you. I really do like it. It's not free. It's about $100 a year.
Which is not bad.
It pays for itself.
$10 a month.
No, if you do monthly, it's $14.99.
That would be over $100 a year.
Right, but if you pay yearly, it's $100.
Okay.
Get you with that. Okay. Corey. Okay, so Eventbrite. Now, I'm not sure on this. Some Cookie College member caught it. Eventbrite says we're raising our rates. We know our worth. Whatever. I'm not sure, but it was a percentage increase per transaction, and the transaction fee was higher. But it says for events published after January 3rd, which makes me think
that if you can get your events up before January 3rd, you're grandfathered in. So if you could plan out your year of classes, you could potentially get the old rate, be ahead of all your competitors.
This is just what we're thinking.
We also tested this. We put all of our classes last year up at the beginning of the year.
Just a test, and I gotta say,
and I didn't have to mark it at all.
We filled up Christmas in October or September,
but it was mostly filled in June.
Yeah, so we will be doing that. Corey and I will be posting our classes. I'm not sure if we can beat this Eventbrite thing. People say, well, then are you going to leave Eventbrite? Still no. Eventbrite is very handy. And also, because it's a search engine, it can drive traffic towards our events too.
When we posted in the college, some people were like, well, I'm going to have to leave Eventbrite. No. Just as the egg farmers pass the price on to us.
Corey and I raised our prices last year.
Can pass that on to your consumer.
Right. So something to consider. The great way, if you say, well, I'm not sure if Eventbrite's drawing me any leads. In Eventbrite, you can add custom questions. I'm not sure if that's for the free tier. I know Corey and I might have the essential tier. But I say, how do you hear about us? And I give them a selected amount of options. If Eventbrite's enough of those, if enough people say Eventbrite, you not want to leave that lead source.
Yeah.
If no one says Eventbrite,
maybe. But the hassle is the hassle.
The hassle is the hassle. I like Eventbrite because it does credits. It also doesn't integrate reminders. Yeah. It also integrates with a third-party gift card app called Gift Up.
Yeah.
So we sold a gift card yesterday.
Nice.
Great for last-minute Christmas gifts.
Yeah, it really
so, so I wanted to get the class schedule up
Let's
earlier.
do that. Let's not wait.
Let's not. Worst case. Let's get the classes up and we can change the dates.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. I'll unsubscribe from all promo emails. That's already mentioned that one, but that's a part of Inbox Zero. But you'll want to take that active unsubscribe link, click, because that's how you get out of these.
Sure. It would be a hard breakup with me and Michael.
So only unsubscribe from the ones you don't want. Like Roku stick I bought you 2 years ago. Like I went to click it and it said, thanks for subscribing. But I was like, oh no, I clicked the wrong button. But it's their unsubscribe link is accidentally connected to the subscribe link.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so I had to report it as spam, which I didn't want to do. But okay, your computer desktop. Clean up. Get it to ground zero.
Did that.
You did. How do you feel?
I loved it.
It feels good. What'd you do with the files?
Folders, deleted things I didn't need.
Great.
Renamed some stuff so I could look it up.
I said to Corey, you can learn a lot about somebody if you got. I should ask my ex-boyfriends. Let me see that computer desktop before we start chit-chatting. If you can learn a lot somebody in their brain from their computer desktop organization. So if you have so many files and you don't have any folder structure, now in the next 2 weeks, you can leisurely kind of file those away and clean that up. Get it back to just the essentials. Your brain will operate better.
Trying to find something you need amidst the clutter of your computer is difficult.
We can't be afraid to declutter our hard drives.
We can't be
both
afraid.
Metaphysically and physically. Great. Okay, clean off all external memory cards and format them. So if Corey and I have been around the computer camera block for a while, we got a lot of little SDs and micro SDs floating around.
Collecting filled ones of the favorite photos.
That would be what goes on your external. So, you got to it's kind of hard because when you delete from an external, it's gone.
It's gone.
But you could organize in a folder structure and put on that terabyte external, format the card. And then what I've been doing this year is renaming the card as it applies to the camera it belongs to. That way, when I have I can plug in multiple SD cards. I'm always like, is this the Canon? Is this the Sony? Is this the Podcast?
Camera over yonder. All of them for that guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess you do. But formatting a camera card kind of like cleans off, because your camera's storing a lot of files there. I like to format them. You don't want to ever find your camera corrupted, your SD card corrupted, because that means they're truly gone. So something to keep in mind.
Don't use your SD card as a storage device.
Don't. It is slowing. These aren't. Okay. So I said my computer's 500 gigs. This SD card they're using Sony is 64 gigs. So we're getting smaller and smaller. There's not a lot of elbow room there.
It's not.
The podcast one is 256 gigs.
I know. Living its best life.
Storage is getting cheaper and cheaper.
I know.
That 256 gigs at one time would have been $200.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Clean Google Drives.
Oh, I did this.
Yeah, this is a hard one.
That, I'm like, do I need you? Will I need you in the future? And I'm like, no, girl. You have
Give me an example of what you deleted.
Like, remember when we took the email, like how to send a cold email?
Yeah.
And get attention?
Is this a class or a document?
It was a course. The template from 7 years ago.
Yeah, likely those marketing tactics no longer really work.
I know, so I said, let it go, girl.
Let it go.
It served its purpose.
So auditing your Google Drives does require like creating a folder structure. I do recommend. If you have everything sitting outside of a folder, it's kind of chaotic.
Let me tell you, it is.
So kind of, keeping that. You'll see all of this is just reorganizing your life to get started. Because in 2023, you kind of want a clean slate.
You do.
Last thing you want to do. I was listening to this book. It's All Too Much, which sounds crazy, but it's about clutter in the home.
Yeah.
Okay, this book was written 15 years ago. So computers new.
True.
Right. So the guy was like, I asked the man of the household to grab the checkbook because he was in charge of writing checks. It took him like 10 minutes to find the checkbook, but he wrote checks twice a day. I don't know how to write a check. I know how to find them on the sidewalk.
You're so weird, though.
I don't write. Somebody said write a check. I don't even know the last time I wrote one.
I would be able to write it in 2 seconds.
I don't even have a checkbook. I have to go to the bank and say, excuse me, I feel awkward. Can I get a check? Also, what do I write here? Why do you say 100th of a penny? But he said, when you do the math, so I'll just do the math real quick. Boop. So let's say that we have, let's say we spent 20 minutes a day looking for files on our computer, right?
Okay.
Which seems pretty normal. That would be 7,300 minutes divided by 60, be 121 hours of your next year spent just looking for something. If you spend 121 hours learning something, you'd probably be able to start a new side hustle.
Nothing annoys me more than needing a specific cookie cutter and not being able to find it for 40 minutes.
But didn't you get the Cutterly app?
The Cutterly app.
So do you upload a photo of what the cookie cutter is supposed to look like?
So you can. You can't. Unfortunately, it doesn't take a large file size. So my finished photos don't necessarily fit. But I could do a screen grab of that and then it would upload.
Likely, if you saved them from Facebook, Facebook runs compression on all photos, it would upload as well.
So
so you can upload the cutter and the picture of the finish.
I can take a picture of this cutter in the app. And that could be my primary photo. And then of what it looks like decorated.
Smart.
Then I could break it out into tags. So this would be a thank you, customer appreciation.
But that's going to save you so much time of searching.
And then they just added a new feature. Like everyone has cutter bins. So now you can say it's in my teacher bin.
Smart. Yeah. That'll save you some time. And it comes back to this. And I know people are like, oh, Heather, all you do is make folders. You better believe it. Control-Shift-N is a new folder shortcut on Windows. But making these folders are really allowing me to just walk down a folder file path and get what I need without the search or I think I would have called it. In Windows, I have Windows computer. There is a app included in the computer, you just have to access it, that allows you to batch edit names. of files.
Interesting.
So let's say you export something from your Canon. It all has the IMG underscore.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, that's not very searchable, right? What you'd want to do is batch edit the names in that specific folder to say the day you took it, the client. Let's say if that was pertinent information, the type. So again, how you're just kind of tagging these cutters, you can rename the photos, which allows them to then be searchable.
Yeah, I can't wait till you go through my folder structure. One, it's going to blow your mind in not a good way.
Okay.
Two, I started naming them by the date I was editing them, but when then years passed, the dates don't line up.
I don't know what we're gonna do. Okay, let me ask you this though. Old photos, have you progressed your talent better in just photography and in skill? Would you even use old stuff?
There's some that could go.
You gotta let them go. You gotta let them go.
I like to see my progression.
So Corey and I are going to teach a cookie college class. I'm using her photos to teach a photo organization. However, we will be building it out on an external hard drive. I'd say get a Dropbox subscription and have that.
And then take it off the computer.
Yeah, take it off the computer and off the external and have it in the cloud, have it searchable in the cloud, and the ability to share.
The thing is, why Heather's like, why is your phone always so filled? It's because if someone needs like a baker recommendation and they're like, yeah, looking for a mermaid looking for mermaid cookies for my kid.
Looking for a mermaid baker.
I can't swim.
I could tell you that.
I want to be able to have the photos there of my prior mermaid sets to post. So that's why I have like I don't want to depart from them.
So what we could use is we can build this out on an external, but upload them to Dropbox, clear off the external, and then
clear
you
off
could
my
use
phone, man.
Clear off your phone. And then you could search Dropbox, download it, and post it in comments.
Cannot wait. New year, new me.
Yeah, that'll be a big one.
New 2023.
This one won't apply to everybody, but I'll clean the snakes' cages. I'll get cleaned every 6 months. It's about that time. Snakes, for you parents who want to get your kids a dog. Snakes are pretty.
No, they
pretty
bit Heather.
low maintenance.
They both bit Heather, so just keep that.
When the little one bit me. Okay, here's the thing. Snakes are snakes, and snakes bite.
Yeah.
Bite. These are not the venomous ones.
They're
However,
the squishy ones.
They're the huggy ones. However, he's a little venomous. But you're supposed to keep a spray bottle of vodka in them and spray them in the eyes when they bite you.
I do that in my mouth, and they.
Yeah, you can either drink it or not recognize that. Okay, here's something I'm doing. I tried to do this last year. I totally failed. Ashley actually came up with this idea.
What is it?
A monthly recap template. So a lot of times you're like, New Year, new me, New Year's resolutions. Most New Year's resolutions are abandoned by February.
Yeah.
So instead of looking at your year as this one big old chunk of time, we can look at it as 12 instances of time. So you can say my January goal is this in January, and then you do a recap of your January. In January, I traveled here. In January, I purchased this. In January, I saw these people. In January, I was really into this playlist. And then at the end of 2023, you have 12 recaps of each month of the year. Because the thing is, we're always imbibing a lot of information, but we're also forgetting it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to survive.
Corey,
I'm not trying to relive January 2021. I'm just glad I'm in November.
Tried one time. Okay, I like my recap template. I would be working on building it out. I use if you've ever heard of Second Brain. A lot of times, my best features, I can't remember anything, so I don't try to. So I keep a lot of notes or nobody can remember anything, but
Listen,
I'm just accepted it.
Remember so much. You remember nothing.
Right. So I keep Notion, which is a free app, as my second brain. Anytime I go to somebody's house and I say, what's the Wi-Fi password? I'll add it to Notion. And when people say, what's a Wi-Fi password? I'll be like, I have it right here.
That's what I've learned. And I say, Heather.
I am Corey's second brain, and Notion is my second brain.
It's been working great.
So I build out Notion. A lot of that stuff set and forget it, down to things that I have in there is every address I've ever lived since we were born. Would you ever need that? I don't know, but sometimes when you sign into TurboTax and it says where you lived. Yeah. So I have those addresses. I have like a ongoing log of my credit score just to keep tabs on it. I add it once a month.
Bizarre.
Corey.
You are bizarre.
Why?
Just you're bizarre, man.
What are you doing?
You love data so much, you have too much of it.
Yeah.
You're overdated. There will be a study come 2027.
And I'll have it in my monthly log. And my last one is audit my YouTube subscriptions. I think who you were a year ago may not be the same interest you have today.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Never
it's just-
subscribe.
Corey, what are you doing with your life? You're just living in by the seat of your pants.
I
Okay.
have
Well,
never
now that you've
subscribed.
dogged on my list of 14, what are yours?
No, let's ask them what theirs is. What are some common things that bakers can run into? One, I know if you're anything like me, you need to put all of your, you need to start organizing.
I wasn't recording any of this.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I get it.
I was going to say, I'm going out.
The other day I got your cookie class. I said left the keys.
I never fall for that one.
Oh
my God.
Okay, so what we're gonna translate this to a baker's thing. I think the cookie cutter thing is a solid idea.
I think so. I wish I would have had the Cutterly
Don't
app.
people use
before I
Google Keep or Google Notes to do it as
Someone
well?
said there was another one, but it had like an update and it didn't fare well or something
okay.
like this. Cutterly is meant for cookie cutters. They were part of the Vendy Blendy. They've been in there for 2
I
years.
think it's Amanda and Chris Porter.
Yeah, and they have an Android app already. And
Ah.
iOS was supposed to come out. Obviously, I don't have an iOS device, so I don't know if it
Oh.
did. But they were going to just be apps, and in the apps, it makes it so much easier.
Just so you know, if you migrate,
I know,
you're going to
yeah, lose it.
Well, I don't know. It depends on how they have. If
I don't know.
if the app talks to the web app, then you'd be fine.
Listen, I've been a part of the Android
I
team
know.
for years now.
Yeah, crazy. What else? So we think of New Year, New You. What I'd like to challenge people is to get all of your sales information, anybody you sold to, get those emails into your email marketing. If you're like, I haven't sent an email ever, okay, well, New Year, New You, try that as well. So another thing that I like to do is create a CRM. Corey and I, she doesn't know yet, I used Copper CRM this past year, hated it. Absolutely hated it.
Heather's used so many different
Hated
CRMs
it.
in our lifetimes.
I wanted one that synced with Gmail. Hated it. It's so bad that they lowered their price.
Yeah. And then they wouldn't let us out of the contract thing.
So I think I'm going to go back to testing Insightly CRM, which is the one I actually started with years ago.
I feel like we did start with that.
Years and years ago. It was a Target Rocket thing. But I whatever. That was a little nightmare. But a CRM program, a customer relationship management program, would allow you to upload. Let's pretend I'm a cookier and Corey is my client. So Corey's ordered from me 3 times. In that CRM, I could say Corey's ordered from me for her child's 2nd birthday. Well, I know a year from now, likely that child will be turning 3. Hopefully, if my math is right, I can reach out to her and say, hey, Corey, my CRM will tell me, hey, just so you know that Corey has this birthday coming up. Say, Corey, tell Archer happy 3rd.
Yeah.
Let me know if you're interested in any cookies I can get you. That's a great.
Yeah.
And that takes organization.
Smarter.
The key with the CRM is once you set it up, stay on top of it.
Yeah, because it is not useful for you.
It's not a once a year thing. It's a once a week thing, once a month thing at least. And you want to make sure you keep it updated. As you gather information on people who take your cookie classes, people who place orders, you'll want to get them into that CRM.
I'm going to challenge, and I know every baker
A challenge.
who is like me will have a tough time with this. If you are not selling, if the packaging is left over, you have 1 or 2 of a, Christmas coal bag, that clutter can take up space and energy and mental capacity. I'm going to tell you to get rid of it. If you need it again, you can buy it.
Yeah.
If it's just one-offs and there's not enough that you can actually make another sale of them, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird if you had the coal bags to say I only have 3 of these.
Coal bag.
Right. Like
leftover from last year.
Right. To make a whole photo shoot and exhaust your audience with a sales pitch that you only had 3 of be kind of a rough one.
I want you to see the chaos that this Christmas has been, this season, and all those good intentions of all the packaging you bought. I want you to look at them and say, I will not buy this again next year. It will be hard. I know. I'm one of them. But the amount of space that takes, the real estate it takes up for an entire year is not worth it all the time.
No. What will you be walking away from?
I've already been clearing out everything.
Oh, good.
So for me specifically with props, if that is not a prop that I have grabbed,
It's like the whole proverbial hang your shirts backwards, and at the end of the year, any hanger's still backwards.
Yeah. You got to get rid of it. And I have a hard time with it because I'm like, there was money that was put into that at some point in time, but now it's just taking up space. So I'm challenging you to go through your packaging. What can go, let it go. I had gotten stamps done of my old business.
You gotta let go.
Yeah, I had to throw it away. I will never use that again.
But what if there's
physically, that was so hard for me to do because I had spent money on it.
The Minimalist Podcast said under $20, less than 20 miles away to replace, it doesn't need to be in your house. And that one was pretty crazy to my brain.
Ribbon people looking at you. Get rid of it.
Ribbon people.
Get rid of the ribbon.
You could easily gift that and then buy nothing, sell nothing.
Yeah, I found someone who is a wreath maker out there would just like love it. You know, wreaths where you do the giant bows.
Yeah.
But ribbon is so cute. It goes on so much sale at Michael's that you can start hoarding it. And it's great to look at. You forget you have it though. You buy new stuff. You forget it. It's a year gone. Those little ghosts are so cute.
If you forget you have it, you don't have it. It has you.
Ribbon people, me and you, we're going to get rid of some ribbon.
What else would you be getting rid of?
What else?
Here's the thing. I'm going to say this one. If you have, and you tell me if I'm right, piping bags that you just don't like because they're not your favorite,
get rid of them.
Get rid of them.
Or donate them to the buy nothing, sell nothings at the world.
Or schools, maybe.
Yeah, something. Get rid of them. You do not like the bags.
I find myself, if I reach for one jacket all the time, the other jackets likely shouldn't be in my closet.
You're right.
You know?
I'm going to tell you that gel food coloring goes bad. It has an expiration date.
The makeup's worst feature is that it expires because it helps you with the breakup.
And I think it's very hard to get rid of those because you're like, you bought the Heavenly 70 pack. You never got around to using ash because stone is so close in color.
Should you get the Nifty 50?
You should just stick with the Nifty 50.
Oh, really?
If I had to rebuy.
Oh,
and I've had all of the different sizes.
Okay.
Food coloring goes bad. You need to go through it.
How long does it last?
Years, but I think it's only 2.
The Eddie print cartridge goes bad.
I know.
Yeah.
It actually tells you when you log in. This sucker's gone bad. Yeah.
The fact that you know that means yours is probably bad.
Gone bad.
They came out with a new punchier magenta, though. Yeah, that's a good one. What else can you say? Year-end closeouts.
Go through. I had to do this. I have so many different splashes from, like, if I do pumpkin flavored dough, if I do apple cider dough, that's so much ingredients that are sitting and taking up space.
I'm sure they expire.
They go bad.
Get rid of them.
Get rid of them.
A lot of times it may be tempting to collect that stuff. Most people don't want it.
No.
Most people don't want that all one-off dough flavor.
And that's what I learned the hard way, that I like the taste come Christmas time, but no one's ordering gingerbread.
No one's ordering
in January.
it. It's costing you additional money to produce and to purchase.
Taking up space. So now you have to move everything to the side. So my thing is, and I've been practicing this at the end of this year, and I'm going to practice it into the next year, is to not repurchase something until that thing is gone.
That's a good one.
I really have that issue. Like, I will say, like, I'm going to be out of saran wrap. Let me go buy 2.
Yeah.
So I won't. But now that those 2 have to have storage.
Yeah. 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 The cleaner and clearer your tabletops are. You go to, Gams, I said she must have an addiction to getting rid of stuff. And she said, the feeling my brain has when I see a clean surface. But I see it like a lot of people like to come to Gam's house because there's so many clean surfaces and it just welcomes creativity. When you don't have to fight to spread out.
Yeah.
You can accomplish a lot. And I've noticed that when people come to Gam's house, they all relax because there's so much free space.
Yeah, and there's not clutter. There's not things to think about. There's not a million
Nothing's going to fall off the table. There's nothing on the table.
Yeah.
If you do whatever you want, if it's setting up a photo shoot, if it's whatever.
I know. Every morning and every night, I clean up the kitchen.
Smart.
You say, why are you doing that in the morning and night? Because my husband decides to clean up his dinner after I've gone to bed. So it needs one more clean in the morning.
Ashley, older sister, Kate, found this phrase on TikTok that she really likes. And it says, don't put it down, put it away. Don't put it down, put it away. Don't put it down, put it away.
That is true. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'll come down and be like, I am so stressed right now. I have to just do a quick clean here. Mm-hmm. Declutter.
Something I like to do, I know this is my year-end reset, but I actually do a weekly reset, clear off all the surfaces, disinfect my computer area. Any trash recycling gets gone. The paper scanned and filed. And I just do this weekend reset to allows my brain for the rest of the week to be like, and of course things are going to clutter up and things are going to, but you can address those weekly and stay on top of it a bit. Yeah. Yeah. What else? Any other ideas?
Listen, this is going to be a hard one for you guys. If you have not touched the cookie cutter in a year, odds are.
Really?
You're not going to touch
You're
it.
telling, can you go back through and tell me what your list was? I need to write it for the
I
email.
have no idea what they were.
You said file your cutters away.
File your cutters away.
Okay.
Organize and go through your packaging.
Oh, packaging purge.
I like that. There's a little ring to it. Packaging purge. What was the next one?
Clean the clutter? Was that
Clean the
it?
clutter. I can't remember, to be quite honest with you.
We're going to have to. I got to write it in an email.
We'll have to listen
We're
clearly.
gonna do clean the
I can't
clutter.
remember that.
What's your other one?
I feel
You
like that's
just
it.
said.
Oh, this one I just said, if you haven't used the cutters, toss them.
Oh.
Cutter, declutter.
Ah,
That's a good one. Patent pending.
Yeah, because, okay, walk me through, non-cookie person. Why?
When I started cookies, I got a ton of cutters I thought were fun.
Okay.
Turns out, only I thought so. Customers tend to order, I will say, the same types of things. They'll go through what you've already made and be like, I really like what you did in this photo. Totally fine. I can totally recreate that. Whatever you can't recreate, you can do it on a plaque. There's cutters that I have not touched since I purchased them. I just got a high off of buying it.
Okay.
And you know what? It's taking up so much space. You could donate that
That'd be great.
to a cookie or
Isn't
need.
there a buy,
If
swap,
one person
sell?
texts here and says, I'm a cookie or need, send it my way. I will spank you.
Why? Because you want them to declutter it?
Well, I want to keep mine too.
There's a Facebook group. I think it's called like Buy, Sell, Swap.
Buy, sell, trade.
Buy, sell,
Cookie
trade.
cutters.
Yeah. So there's a great place. Waste not, why not? Pass it
True.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Good. Now, any other tips that you may have? Let's see. So cookie cutter people. Cookie cutter people.
Oh, we said ingredients. That was the one.
Yeah. Ingredients. I have a slight head cold. I'm coming off of it. That's why it sounds like I'm talking into a sock.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go through the text? I feel like you and I are leisurely walking through this podcast.
I know.
It's kind of that time of the year where you pensively reflect on the first part of the entire year and say, what can I do differently? What can I do better? Let's talk about you. Let's do a quick audit.
Okay.
What did you wish you did differently this year? Do you wish you rebranded sooner?
Yeah. But you know what? It was perfect timing because you made it super cute.
Yeah.
I feel like we had talked about it at length.
Yeah, you took a lot of polls of the fam.
But I am happy with how it came out.
Okay.
But yeah, if I could tell you, if you're thinking to rebrand, do it now more than later.
You know what I'm going to tell? Here's another tip. And this is a little bit of SEO sacrilege, but if you have a sold out product on your website, archive it. Let's get it out of your products list on the website because it is distracting and it is essentially elongating your sales funnel to have, because I click on a lot of cookiers websites. I'm like, why are these products here if they are sold out?
True. I think they're like, I can see their marketing mind is like, if I say sold out, it'll create FOMO in people.
That's best for social media.
It is. I would say if you had one thing on your site that said sold out would make me feel rushed. If I have to scroll past 50 things to find something not sold out, I would be like, well, better luck next year.
I'd honestly, the only thing I'd keep on my website that says sold out, if you're trying that approach, is something that could be sold year round. That Christmas stuff, I don't really want to see it around Valentine's Day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but that's what you kind of see is like you can tell that the baker had sold these at one point, probably just forgot to check back into the website, but it would be a good time to audit your products in your website, archive, delete, clean out. If you're not going to plan to offer that again, don't hold on to it. You can always recreate the listing if you really had to. Likely your prices are going to change and things like that. So I would say, audit that website. If you have any information that's Christmas-based, nothing says this person doesn't really do this full time than seeing Christmas stuff in March. So I definitely do a clean sweep of the website, update any information there that's kind of specific to a holiday.
Like that. Like it.
And then freshen up the homepage to be ready for Valentine's Day. That'll be the next holiday that hits big.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Someone said Super Bowl.
It is in February.
It's in February.
Early February. I think
Really?
if I recall, February 11th is what someone mentioned.
Yikers. Well, I'd lean more into Valentine's Day, but Both?
Yeah, I got these cute little trays. Speaking of packaging, I shouldn't have. They're cute. They were so inexpensive, $1 each,
Where?
but they look like a field goal. They're from Home Goods, so I could never find them. There was no
No.
brand name on them. But it's like this plastic field goal tray, and you could do it just like different.
Do a huge
footballs.
set.
Yeah, it would be like for a party, a
That'd
football
be cute.
party.
We'll sell a couple of those.
I only have 4 to sell.
Great. That's
My
what we
poor
just
trays.
said, don't you? Yeah, and then Valentine's Day. Easter's a big one. Someone hit or miss St. Patrick's Day.
It's if they already celebrated it, fine. If they don't,
I
think
see-
PYLs were good for me for that
Yeah,
day.
it's a harder one. I don't see people do it as often. What Mother's Day was always good. Can you
Is
not
this
hit
declutter?
them?
Are we still talking declutter? Or are we just talking big
We're just
sales
kind of
days?
coming up with strategies for like the website, like big holiday set.
Okay. I thought we were just chit-chatting.
That's a podcast. We can just that. But okay, this is a good set. I like my gear and clothes. I challenge you guys to kind of think of the same things. I know yours are going to be a little bit more unique to yourself. I'm a big computer user, so those are a bit unique to me.
I think for a lot of the posts I've seen in the group, your closeout, what I want you to do is review how chaotic this month was for you, how
Learn
burnt out
lessons.
you feel right now, and go to next December of 2023 and block out your days right now.
That's a great idea.
And do not
Make a mental write yourself a note. You can
Yeah.
do it in Asana. I use project management software called Asana. I highly recommend it. It has a free plan. But you can set a task for a year from now, but you can add a note to yourself. And you can almost be rude and
like,
say,
you
future me,
cried.
don't you dare.
You cried.
Yeah.
Like
You
a
can
little baby
attach a
last
photo.
night.
I want you to take that selfie of you crying and upload it to the task that will trigger in December and say, don't you even.
Yeah, because I think a lot of every year we see bakers, I'm overwhelmed, I'm exhausted, I want to quit.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what we
burnt out.
don't want.
Corey and I got a little greedy, but I think we pulled back from classes a lot this year. We used to do 3 every Saturday, which is insane. This year we just did 1 on Saturdays, but we did 2 classes in December because last December we said, let's not do that again,
Yeah.
what we did. But this December, Corey's like, should we add another class?
I know.
It would have sold out immediately. Well, we kind of net around $900 per class. That's easy money. But at the same time, Corey and I specifically said we were not going to do anything this week other than the podcast so we can get into the Christmas part.
Yeah. Except for I've been baking for clients and neighbors, teachers, all alike.
Hey, I can't help you. It's a great gift. I would love to be your neighbor.
I know. I came into a client and I was like, it almost looked like I spent a ton of money because I didn't tell them, like, I bake these. So I was like, yeah.
Either way, you win.
Spent a lot on you. Custom cookies, you know.
Have you seen the price on these bad boys? Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, let's go through some texts. We begged people.
We begged.
To text in. Here's a few of these. Thank you guys so much for texting in. Hope this isn't too late for today's podcast. What is your favorite holiday tradition?
What?
This is from the 281.
281. Me and Heather love, we're getting ready to go now, to go to the mall and people watch amidst the holiday
The
lights.
Christmas bustle.
The Christmas lights are hanging.
I liked just the vibes.
It's the hustle and bustle. People are buying for
the light,
other
Christmas
people.
lights, Christmas music.
People have just bags in their hands and they're so excited
Yeah.
for whoever they bought for.
Gams will be like, where were you? Like, oh, Corey and I were at the mall. And she's like, then after that, what'd you do? No, we were at the mall. She's like, you've been gone for 5 hours. I said, yeah, we go from restaurant to restaurant with people watching Vantage Points and kind of
My
just
husband's
get
like, do you get anything? No, one thing.
you got a high off of other people. I just really enjoy it, really.
It is. It just gives you like Christmas cheer, and people are like, "That's my nightmare." But everything is hustle and bustle around Northern Virginia, so to see people in a good mood about it,
Yeah, and then you can kind of, I don't know, it's a vibe. You know, mall culture is kind of dying out, but Tyson's got to hold down a bit.
yeah. We always come to my grandmother's house on Christmas Eve.
That's a good
We
one.
used to all open gifts. Now nobody does that. And she
Now when
just
you're like,
opens
she's
gifts.
like, now I just feel like everyone awkwardly looks at me, and I said, yeah.
It's mostly you're coming for the food and the time.
She's got a
together.
shrimp tray. She went all out this
I
year.
went and bought shrimp
You did?
myself because you
yourself?
had said shrimp 2 weeks ago, but they've been sitting in the freezer because
Bring them on Christmas.
I
You wanna
might
get rid
have
of 'em?
to. Yeah.
I
just
ordered
so afraid of
Cheryl's
that.
cookies, and then Corey showed up with buttercream cookies, and I said,
felt
"Why?
threatened.
Why did you make me spend $100
felt
on
threatened.
Because I've been asking for buttercream from you all year.
I know. Little did you know you had to spend $100 and you got them for free.
They were delicious.
They were good.
Cheryl's also shout out to you too. Those are delicious. Okay, what else do we do?
We go to.
Corey always does this one thing. One, we usually do twin gifts. We're not doing that here.
I know. Yeah.
But we had, what, a $200 threshold, and you had to get a twin gift.
Heather got me a 2 last year.
Yeah, Corey never got it. And Corey got me guitar lessons, which I never took. But they were very thoughtful gifts. But what else do we do? We go to my mom's house on Christmas Day.
Me too.
And all our sisters draw names. There's 4 of us. I got my older sister, Ashley, younger sister, Summer, and then Corey and I. And so who'd you get this year, Sam?
I got Summer. Got her a TV for her new little place.
Okay, I think I told this. I got Ashley, got her heated
hand warmer?
Chair.
Like
a Gamma
Oh, because she goes camping with her husband.
She goes camping with her husband. She's not a camper. She does it to support him. So I figured a luxury heated chair.
What I requested for myself was a cat stroller.
I would love to walk Fee in it. Yeah. I don't think Fee would like it, but and then Ashley got me. Great, got the rich sister. The rich sister got my name. Okay, here's another text. That's a good question. Do we have anything else
that we do?
You and I just loiter around
crazy.
Corey tried to make going to Christmas plays a thing, then COVID hit and ruined that.
Yeah.
Then we went to DC to see the Christmas tree lighting, but COVID ruined that.
Yeah. We never bounced back after that.
We never really did.
It's
hard to find parking.
We used to do Christmas lights, like going around the naves.
I do without with gams.
Yeah.
We sound late.
Bah humbug.
Okay. Hey, twins. This is Marcy from Texas. Thanks for all you do for the Cook Your community. It's truly one of the best things the internet has brought to fruition. Okay. So my question is about LinkedIn. I set up a profile for my business, but now what? I'm struggling with what approach to take on the post on this platform. Do I keep it super dry and professional? Should I add a blog spot to my website and share those to LinkedIn? Do I post just photos, a way for people to flock my way? Thanks in advance for tips. LinkedIn is weird.
LinkedIn is weird, and I love being on there.
Where you
post all the time.
LinkedIn's push notifications are dialed in, man.
They are, and there's always 50 notifications waiting for you, even if you just logged in 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
The thing with LinkedIn is if you have passed, if you start going to networking groups because maybe corporate orders are your thing, you need to send a LinkedIn connection, not just the broad one that says, I would like to add you to my LinkedIn network.
Corey, thank you so much for meeting me at event. It was great learning more about at your business.
Would love to follow your business journey on LinkedIn if you don't mind connecting with me and make it really start growing a relationship there.
Yeah. You could post. So LinkedIn has a twofold thing, just like Facebook, LinkedIn has released company pages.
They have, and we have company pages set up.
So I highly recommend. It's actually a course they taught in the Cookie College as well. Not only create that personal LinkedIn, create the company page. So what Marcy's asking, and if she hasn't yet, I'd encourage you, Marcy, to create the company page. And there you can kind of post, if you went to a networking event, take photos, post them there. Everyone loves to see themselves.
They do.
Then start tagging people or businesses that you met at that event. It is a little bit more work. Cracking into LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional network. It's not necessarily Facebook, but what you can do is kind of appeal to those corporate orders and start creating business connections. Yeah. You want to be authentic. Nothing screams, I don't care, I just want your money, than that blase connection request.
I will say there is an algorithm on LinkedIn as well. So just trying to get connections is not it. You really want to focus on people that you've met that are invested in you. If you go to a networking event, you meet someone and maybe you guys didn't click, you have nothing in common, that you don't see them as your target audience, you don't have to connect with them. They'll never know. But what they could do is bring down your engagement rate and maybe your posts don't get seen as much.
Just like Facebook as well, LinkedIn has had these things called groups. Now, I used to be really active. I used to work for remodeling marketing. I used to work in marketing for remodelers, and I got published in a magazine strictly because I added so much value to this group where some magazine publishers were also lurking around. But again, it's a very value-added centric place. Sometimes LinkedIn groups are the wild, wild west of quality. There's nothing there.
I will say LinkedIn is not a meme page. If you post that, someone might say this is not Facebook in the comment section.
Yeah, LinkedIn's, was bought by Microsoft a couple years ago, and it's truly trying to find its footing. However, I'll say the algorithm is much more forgiving than on Facebook.
Yeah, and I think they recently added you can do short videos on there.
You
can use hashtags on there.
If you post to a company page, it says, hey, why don't you link this company page to your personal page? So it really wants you to produce that content. Now, you're going to want to speak not necessarily to the mom with the car of 5 kids. You're going to want to speak to the front admin who's coming up with Christmas gift ideas. Talk about marketing. Talk about what you're doing for your business to market it.
Your business growth. Yeah. Things that you've invested in for your business and how, it's going to help the future of your company.
I think if you have an Eddie, a video of Eddie and how you plan to, kind of use it would be kind of more geared towards that LinkedIn audience.
If I ever do a corporate order, I will share that corporate order on my business page and tell my audience a little bit about the company that I did the corporate order for. And it always tags the business owner. And he absolutely always shares it.
Yeah, because it's also Sahara of getting any accolades because everyone's so busy talking about themselves. So I think you had done a landscaping company.
I did.
And then it said, hey, I was so impressed by
his wife has ordered for me 5 times.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's the one that always.
Is that the one with the mermaid kid?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Small world. Really great way to do that. Really great way. I said to my little sister, find someone that loves you like a small business owner loves their logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love it. And also, I will say, don't just post and ghost. If you want people to be invested in you, comment on their stuff. They will look you up. To see who
and LinkedIn will
you
tattletale that you look them up.
So if you take the time to read through their post, say, oh, wow, I learned blah, blah, and blah from your post. Thank you so much for sharing. And you can build relationships that way.
I mean, as with most marketing, it comes down to being authentic.
Authentic.
If you are interested in hiring help, LinkedIn has an extensive job network.
Me too.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff. I suspect more and more will come from that platform. Next text. This is from the 734. All right. Well, if you guys are so desperate for podcast text, I've been putting this off until I catch up, and I'm almost there. So here she goes. Howdy, twins. I'm Summer from Summertime Bake & Co. How cute. In Livonia, Michigan, basically between Ann Arbor and Detroit, points to location on the hand, because the Michigan people are like, here's my hand and here's where I live on it. So I've been following a lot of the podcasts, and I took your advice and started a Nextdoor account to reach more locals because I moved to Livonia from Ann Arbor in the summer, and I lost a lot of customers. My actual question is, how should I be marketing on Nextdoor? The hyper-local audience has me feeling like if I post all the time and flood the platform, people will get annoyed and not want to order from me. Is the algorithm similar to Facebook and Instagram, or no one besides my mom will see it anyways? What's the deal with Nextdoor? What do? Thank you all so much.
Nextdoor, it does come down to how active that neighborhood is.
Yes.
Sometimes there's dead neighborhoods where no one's posting anything. But sometimes you have very active neighborhoods when, the community, I'm not saying like old people, but when they're a little bit not
Gams lives on Nextdoor and she's 83, so take that for
right. And I don't live on Nextdoor. I live on Facebook, and then our little sister lives on Instagram.
Nextdoor took a note from LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and created Nextdoor business pages, which I'm sure is what Summer's referring to. So Nextdoor business pages, just like LinkedIn company pages, there used to be a throttle with how many times you could post. They undid the throttle, which makes you think that they did it for you. I doubt that. They did it so you'd post a lot and not reach anybody. Yeah. So you have twofold approach to Nextdoor. I would say treat Nextdoor business profile like you would treat your Facebook page. Push out content, push out valuable content. Don't be annoyed by the algorithm. I likely think nobody's seeing it. Mm-hmm. That Nextdoor business page post, you can post as many times as you want, but can only reach within 2 miles of your location.
Yeah, but having the page on there, when someone asks for a recommendation of a local baker, you can tag that page versus people just typing in and then putting the hard work on the person who asked for it.
And yeah, that's an increase at funnel length. So if Summer's talking about posting from her personal page, that's where I think a lot more of the strategy is going to come from, because you don't, they're moderated, those Nextdoor communities.
I was the admin of one.
Yeah.
Everything goes.
Great. You want to definitely respect the rules, and you don't want to get in trouble because they will push you off that platform, and you can't get back on unless you moved.
Yeah.
But I've even heard that even if you get banned from one neighborhood, you can't join another.
Oh.
Someone had said that they had gotten. So kind of consider if they have posted rules, or ask if you can ask an admin for the rules, or kind of like how they manage that. But a great way to kind of work around and not seem so salesy is maybe post a picture of a Christmas tree cookie and say, hey, where are you guys going Christmas tree shopping? Kind of introduce a thought, because what you're going to have, and I've tested it myself, is people say, where did you get this cookie?
Yeah.
And then you can answer that question without looking like a salesperson, because your original question was asking a legitimate neighborhood type question.
Sneaky.
Another one you could do is, hey, what's everyone gifting their delivery drivers? I was thinking about cookies. I'm a baker.
Bye. Buy them from me. Got some UPS cookies over here.
I was going on my walk where I find checks floating around. And a lot of people have bins for the delivery driver to grab a snack or something. So you could kind of introduce like, hey guys, this is what I was thinking of. here's the thing. Some people are going to be like, don't do home baked goods. You've got to not be offended by that. You ask them their opinion and like, gave it.
That is it.
But what you've introduced is like, hey, I do bake without necessarily breaking the rules.
Yeah, and I will say,
bake without break.
If your neighbor, you guys got like some kinship, they can get your teachers back to school day sets and post it on Nextdoor and say, I purchased from so-and-so. It was amazing. Look at these cute cookies I got for my school teachers. My kid's going to get an A+.
I like it. Okay, Corey, this question is for you, and this will wrap us up. If you called in, I'm so sorry I didn't download them first. Yeah. I'll do that next week. Thanks for posting the phone number in the group. This is from 513 area code. I've been wanting to ask this question for months, but of course, I'm always too busy to write down the number while listening to the pod. What is the number?
571-554-556-5644.
Yeah. Do it one more time. Yeah.
571-556-5644.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. It's right here in front of me. Anyways, this is for Corey and Heather, I guess. Thanks for throwing me in there, bud. Corey, you've talked about having a satisfaction guaranteed policy. I am team refund all the way, and I also spend more money than I should on Amazon, simply because I know I can return it. So my question is, how do you tell people their satisfaction is guaranteed? Is it listed on your website, email, forum, or is it just kind of known? Do you wink at them weirdly when they drive away? I want people to know that they can trust me with their hard-earned moolah, but I want to make it tactful. Thank you guys for your work and your help. Insert gushing here. Sincerely, Gregorical JK. It's your king. Oh, it's Jessica Wolf. Thanks for throwing me in there, Jessica.
No, I don't wink at them. What I use that.
You don't wink at them? I like to wink at them approach.
Hello. What I use mine as it's a sales closer. So if I have them all the way to the end of my sales funnel and I just need them to reach into their back pocket, pull out their money, I say, by the way, it's a satisfaction guarantee. So I'm telling the people that are getting ready to order, like, it's my closer. And that's what I use to seal the deal.
That's a great closer.
Yeah. And
they're already knocking because they're interested.
For sure.
If they powered through your pricing, then you've got them. And now you're going to, the little clincher is like, and if you don't like them, your money back. Guaranteed.
Yeah. So it's not like I'm posting in every post, like, satisfaction guarantee, get your money back.
I'd almost mention it likely when you feel that they're iffy. When you feel that someone's hesitant because they're worried.
It's something like when I sold cars, we always were like, always push to the next step. So if there's an objection over pricing, no worries. It's 100% money back guarantee. If there's an objection that they haven't ordered from you, no worries. I don't touch the money until you've picked up your cookies.
Nice. Okay, I got one last text, but I want to address this one.
Holy cannoli.
Here's a text from 706. One I'm proud of, and I want to explain something that likely she brings up. Husband. Before I found this incredible cookie group, I didn't realize that making cookies could be a career. But last year, I quit my corporate job with my husband's support and took on baking full time. Things haven't gone as picture perfect as I planned, but I'm learning every day. I was in the college for a bit, but I dropped out because I was so overwhelmed by the information. Y'all definitely have a good thing going there, but it's all way over my head and made me feel pretty dumb. Unfortunately, I wish I'd been smart enough to keep up with it all. You know what? 706. Great text, because Corey and I talked about it. Sometimes we hear people saying, whoa, that's an overwhelming amount of content and a little over my head. So we had created and we launched it on the Vendy Blendy Black Friday, the day we chat and talk about the Baker's Business Basics. Now, these are much more simplified courses with a lot more step-by-step tutorials with a PDF download of all the instructions you need. And it's a fraction of the price of the Cookie College. Now, we don't even offer that as a yearly membership because you're not supposed to stay in it for that long. These 13 courses build on each other so that from course number 1 to course number 13, you have done the foundational work. Now, I assume if you've been doing this for a year, you've likely maybe already graduated past this, but it's definitely worth checking out. So you can go to thecookiecollege.com. If you scroll halfway down that page, there's a link to take you to the course list, and you can check out what the Baker's Business Basics cover, but they all are foundational. Corey and I said, if somebody was only going to do this, if they were only going to do 13 classes, what would be the most beneficial classes out the gate? And it starts with Facebook, and it goes to Instagram, and it goes to purchasing a domain name. Sounds scary, but it's not. I walk you through it. I could almost do it with my eyes closed at this point. Then it goes to setting up a custom email address, which sounds so complicated, but I sit there with you.
So professional.
Yeah, and it's not as hard as you think, especially if you just follow along in these courses. And then we talk about payment through Square, I'm sorry. Stripe is what we use for the Cookie College, but creating invoices through Square and a bunch of these foundational things, totaling 13, definitely something if you're like, hey, the cookie college may be a little bit too much or a little too out of my what I want to focus on. Definitely check those out. I highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
Biased, but I made sure that these you could sit down.
You know how we talk so fast on the podcast? Heather said she goes at a
I created a script and read from it.
Yeah. And at a not like ear-piercing sound of like...
Yeah, it was like my sexy voice. I teed it in.
Is that what you have right now?
Hello. No, I have Heather, your sinuses like to collect germs voice.
Someone actually just commented randomly on my Instagram and said, I just came across your podcasts this week and I've been binging. I'm 20 pods deep already. Was wondering if you girls are still taking voicemails. I have quite a few questions related to social media, branding, franchise, etc., which I think you ladies would fit in and help me out with. Thanks. Yes, you can call, text, or email.
Highly recommend the text version.
He also says your product photography is everything. Okay. When will you start giving classes on that? Isn't the Better Business Bureau have a class on that?
Corey did teach a Baker's Business course on cell phone photography from staging with just one backdrop, a few props, and editing it on a cell phone using free Lightroom. Oh, no, you used InShot.
I used iPhone settings.
And it looked pretty great.
It did.
Yeah. So, you can start with that as well. Blessed Persons on episode 20. We're almost on episode 100. Each one of these are averaging an hour.
This week, we're only on Tuesday.
There's so many podcasts. Corey and I are going to do a podcast recap on episode 100.
You literally said that already.
Wait, listen. I want you to look me in the eye socket, and I want you to say, this girl's been sick for the last week. She hardly remembers what day it is, let alone what she said an hour ago.
What day it is.
Okay, here, I was thinking for the sponsees. You can tell me what the sponsor is, but you can't use their name or their primary noun of what their product is.
Okay, what's a noun?
The thing that they are.
Okay. One of our sponsors will take your business to the next level.
Okay.
By using natural light, your bakes, and a good business foundation.
I would not know what it is, except for I know who our sponsors are.
You can save 20% off of this ambiguous thing by using code Cookie Checkout.
Well, okay, let me do a couple questions. What is this? What would you use this in?
For photography.
For photography. What size is it?
The one I typically get. Wow, what is it? Yeah, it's because we've been talking for 5 hours. 23 by 23, but they have bigger sizes for you cake folk.
Bigger sizes, okay. What is it made out of?
It's made out of very complicated things that are above my pay grade.
But is it food safe?
It's food safe.
Okay.
It's waterproof, matte, scratch resistant.
I don't think I could still understand what it is, but you can tell me what it is.
It's an AE Core backers.
Which is a photography backdrop.
Yeah. Yeah. So I call them backdrops, they call them backers. Same difference. But if you have seen any photo of mine, which apparently people are loving on Instagram, that is what it's taken on. You can dress them up, dress them down. They're rigid. I like that I could turn the whole scene to and from the sun to find the perfect lighting.
You can't move your house around.
Can't move the house. Tried.
Let me say, okay, have you ever wanted to print on your food?
No. Just kidding.
Well, even if you didn't, you can with this product that puts images from your computer onto a cookie that is edible.
See, that you took that, we couldn't use the noun. Has made it very hard.
Yeah, that's what I want to see, if we could describe it without the noun.
That one is an easy peasy one, so I'll let you try the next one, but explain what that one is.
That is Eddie, the edible food printer, being the noun. It prints directly to cookies, and the things that people have created for the holiday season
are insane.
Amazing.
They are having a meet and greet, actually classes.
I think is it sold out?
It was the last time I checked, but they were adding a few seats to it. I don't know if it still is. But if you wanted to get down and dirty with Eddie, you can in January in Minnesota. Or is it Wisconsin?
It's one of those states.
It's one of those ones that's pretty cold.
Yeah.
But you can get into their user group and find the exact dates and times and locations.
You're not allowed to use the exact date and time in the description. Okay, how are you going to describe the next one?
The next, take your royal icing cookies to the next level. Think silky, think creamy, think smooth, think easy to work with. This recipe is what you're missing in your cookies. Recipe for success. You're the ingredient that makes all the difference. This is the ingredient that sells the most cookies.
I'm not sure I'd know
I don't either.
what it was.
It is the meringue powder from Royal Batch.
And you can use code
Twins to save 10% off. But I use it. Heather doesn't bake. Heather eats it. But it's absolutely been fantastic to use. It already comes with vanilla, white food coloring, and corn syrup already in there. So you don't have to add anything to it unless you wanted to. And for people who want to just take their royal icing to a next fancier level, you can actually add vanilla bean paste to it. And you get the pretty little specks throughout.
I thought somebody said, I wish it didn't have the specks.
That's color specks that you get in pinks with AmeriColor.
Just AmeriColor?
It's pretty much just AmeriColor.
Weird.
We don't know why.
Interesting.
But everyone has experienced it.
Huh. Who knew?
I know, but every time I have pink, I'm like, oh yeah.
Does anyone care?
Would
Would I care?
If you saw it, you'd be like, oh, something didn't get mixed all the way. So you pick it out with your scribe.
Oh. Would it dry? Is it dry speckled?
It's like the food coloring didn't
Was it like
all the way.
lines?
It could create a line. It creates more of a dot that can bloom.
Sounds horrifying.
Yeah, I like to take them out, but it's with fuchsia and I think deep pink are the ones.
So what's the workaround? Not use AmeriColor?
Yeah, they say use like a powder or food coloring or something like that. Or red with white, make it pink.
I thought it was AmeriGel, and I told somebody that, but AmeriGel is a whole nother company.
It's AmeriColor. Yeah. That makes gels.
Yeah. Okay, that's our spatses.
You got a 20 trust?
Twinterest. Oh, I'm sure I do.
What is that?
Let me think. Do you have one?
I bought okay, if you are familiar with the Cookie Countess, which we all are, she had last year, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, dropped it's a cube box and it held 6 cookies. We were like,
oh, yeah, we did
a
a reel on it.
Yeah, we did. So then they have one that holds a dozen cookies and people were like, no, we want more.
More cookies for it to hold.
More cookies for it to hold. So now they have one that holds 3 dozen cookies in it.
3 dozen? That thing must be a brick.
The box
must
was
be
big.
heavy.
Box was
How much
big.
is it? Because that was a big
It's about
price.
$5 a piece. So me and Heather did custom boxes. We told about a dozen, and that was about $4 and some change.
Yeah.
So this is not custom, but holds 3 dozen.
For the custom boxes we printed, you'd like them deeper, I guess.
Yeah, I think if we could, but if the price was insane.
I'm not sure. I'd have to price it out. I think you don't like looking at rulers. So
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. I can't.
Not my
There's nothing I can
bagel.
say to get Corey. I want to. I would say okay. I like listening to audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
However, though, when you listen to an audiobook, you can't really take notes, and I really don't like trying.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to listen to them. But Ashley made a great point. She said every book you listen to, you're actually just kind of mostly forgetting. Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think I kind of implement into my life, but there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
So I found this app called Blinkist. I'm sure people have heard about it, but it takes books and it summarizes them in about 10 minutes, taking only the juicy tidbits of actionable content. And the guy reads like all the actionable and it gives you a PDF of each.
It's almost like
book.
You've taken the whole reading part out of reading books.
Yeah. So I don't like reading them. Like you don't like rulers.
You like hearing them.
Yeah.
And then you want to take
So
notes.
I was
You want someone to
thinking-
take notes for you.
I listened to one book I've never read before, and I don't think that's going to be the vibe. But if I listen to a book I'd already read before, maybe it'll trigger the memories and I could do a little brief recap. I'm not sure yet. I'm in the free trial. However, the book I listened to recently is The Molecule of More, and it's a book written by somebody who's a PhD on dopamine and how it makes us want, but it actually does not make us happy with what we have. So too much dopamine, you'll find yourself in a never-ending hamster wheel of chasing stuff. Too much serotonin, and you'll find yourself never leaving your house and watching YouTube.
Stop talking about
So, yeah, I thought that book was pretty good. That's my Twinterest currently, I think.
Noise.
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 And also these really long pads of paper are just
Long
the
pads of
vibe.
paper. She's still
this
running
bad
on
boy.
only the 8x11 part, though. The other 4 inches.
You're there. Just don't know what ideas are going to hit me. This is going to be the best thought I've ever had in my whole life.
So I think we didn't touch on the Cookie College, but just touch on that because it's getting ready to raise its price here in about 3 weeks.
Great point. I'll need to make some posts about it. Let me actually tell you.
Tell ya.
So we had a member, and we're going to keep them anonymous because they didn't say could or couldn't tell you. But I'm going to pull up the email I got last night, which is such a crazy email. So This anonymous member says, it's my turn to give back to the sugar community. These freebie photos have been keeping me so busy this month. I sold 379 DIY kits. Yeah, that's not a typo. I want to give a sugar cookie marketing member a chance to experience the college for a month at my expense. Last Christmas, I was not in the college and I only cleared about $1,000. So sad. This year, I cleared $13,000. It's not even only the freebie photos, but I have learned and I have grown so much with the marketing strategies and photography tips. 2023, I'll get rid of this Gmail and get a custom email. We're getting there. So it says, anyways, let me know who I should send the funds to. You pick the winner. If that doesn't sell the Cookie College to you, the Cookie College is the brainchild. It's literally all the marketing tips and tricks and hacks and helps Corey and I have worked with over 15 years.
Yeah, done in video form, step by step. It's done with you marketing. So if you have a question, we actually have a private group for that we can answer all those questions, deep dive into your business issues. But these courses, there's over 90 of them. And they range from things like staging, editing, custom emails, setting up a LinkedIn, setting up Nextdoor, copy, like how to write compelling copy.
We'll be doing this photo organization. A lot in 2023. We'll be covering financial documents, which sounds a little bit boring, but if you don't know if you're making money, you probably aren't.
Yeah.
Really focusing on, I'll be teaching a class on YNAB for business organization. I know the folder structure thing sounds like a nightmare, but I'd only preach it if it worked for me. People who have taken the Gmail tips and tricks course and they have this inbox zero, people who have taken the Asana course and learned how to pre-plan each week, all that stuff is in the Cookie College. It's $68 a month until the first of the year. So if you're interested in checking it out, grandfather yourself.
The 7th year of the
Corey
year.
said, be nice to people and let them have a chance to come off the Christmas thing. So the January 7th will increase the price. If you sign up before January 7th, you actually lock in the current monthly rate or yearly rate. It'll be the cheapest the college will be forever.
Yeah. And one thing's cool about the Cookie College, everything we make, from the digital downloads to the Better Business Bureau basics to this new thing that we're working on where we're making monthly classes for you guys to teach. Our goal for the Cookie College for the month of December was to teach a cookie class. Just get out there.
You know how many people taught cookie classes?
I saw so many of our classes.
We did give them our curriculum, which is where the Cookie Class Kits membership will kind of be derived from. But it was just... And I would like to tell the world, hey, like we said, Christmas is a time to print money. Classes will take a different marketing strategy for the most of the year, which we'll talk about in the college. But it is a really valuable place. And the college, quote unquote, gets everything. So any membership we offer, any content we offer, it always gets added to that membership. So that membership is the biggest bang for your moolah,
for your buck. But if you can get in now, you are grandfathered into that pricing. If you sign up for the Better Business Basics now, and you want to
I've called it Better Business Bureau.
Now. The BBB. You're also grandfathered in there too. We've got to get gone. Man.
I know I gotta upload this so we can go to the mall.
Hours.
Bye guys. I'll see you next week. Happy Christmas.